Have continued in several areas around Johannesburg this morning after the looting of several shops overnight. Affected areas include Ennerdale, Finetown, Eldorado Park and Orange Farm. Pretoria's suburb of Laudium is also on edge. Violence has spread as there are more burning tyres and blockades. Residents have uprooted stalls demanding to close off the Golden Highway, all with the same demands. Police have had their hands full firing rubber bullets and stun grenades, and in other areas shop owners are counting the costs of overnight looting. Police remain on high alert in all affected areas. Well, to give us a sense of what's happening now in Finetown, which is near Ennerdale, we cross to our reporter Griselda Lewis. She's been monitoring the situation there. Griselda, more running battles with police as we've been seeing throughout the morning. What's the situation at the moment?
Well, that's right, Natasha. Running battles since about 3 o'clock this morning as the Finetown residents are the latest community to be up in arms over housing demands and what they say is underdevelopment in their area. Well, the situation is much calmer than it was now. The understanding, of course, is that the Premier's office has sent his special advisor here, to come and meet with community leaders to try and understand what their concerns are and how the Gauteng government plans to address them moving forward. Now, what's going to happen just here? Let me get out of the shot just towards that direction where you can see majority of the media is standing at this stage. That's where the special advisor to Premier David Makhura has just arrived. He will probably give us a briefing straight after he has met with community leaders. But, the community has been up in arms since this morning. Police have had their hands full. They tried to close off this area here, the Golden Highway, since very early this morning. So police had been trying to push them back, and every time they try to move the community from this area, they continue to pelt stones and move to other areas as well throughout the stretch of road here on the Golden Highway, saying that they want someone to come and address the needs. Whether this engagement now by the special advisor to the Premier David Makhura will quell tensions here in Finetown, that certainly remains to be seen. But what these residents are saying is that since 2014, they've been asking for development in this area. That has not happened. They say many promises have been made by politicians. They say the time to talk now is over. And they're now also saying there's also an SMS that's been circulating. We've not been able to establish at this stage or verify where that SMS is coming from, Natasha, because there are now threats of an escalation of violence and further service delivery protests planned for Friday. And the SMS continues to say that at least 11 communities in the south of Johannesburg will embark on that mass action. So whether these continuous engagements, we also heard just a bit earlier on from the spokesperson for the Johannesburg Mayor, Herman Mashaba, and we were trying to inquire whether he was going to come and address the community at all, because recall was the Finetown residents as well as the residents in Ennerdale as well who'd been calling for him to come and address the community. Our understanding now is that that's not going to happen. I guess what they'll want to do is to try and ensure that the communities themselves are stabilized before any of these authorities are able to come and address the crowd. But we're still waiting for that all-important meeting. You can see the police presence still remains extremely strong here in Finetown. One person has been injured. An ambulance was brought in here just a bit earlier on. That person was taken to hospital as well. So we'll certainly get to hear as well from authorities. One person was also detained a bit earlier on, but was subsequently released. But police are certainly leaving nothing to chance. They've brought in more reinforcements to ensure that the kind of violence that we've seen since 3 o'clock this morning does not continue, but much calmer in comparison to what we saw. Of course, all hopes now pinned on this meeting that will be held with the Premier's office.
Griselda, thanks so much. So we'll await to hear what comes out of that meeting. You'll keep us abreast of what exactly comes out of that meeting with the Premier and community members. Griselda Lewis, thanks so much, live from Finetown, just outside Ennerdale, where protests have been spreading. And now we go to Laudium, where one person has been injured and taken to a local clinic after being attacked during a protest in the Ennerdale informal settlement. Earlier reports said a man was killed, allegedly by protesters.